I highly doubt that.
Just wanted to go through the checklist. Were Chris, Cam, or Jay able to practice today?
Mm-hmm. They all did everything today, but we didn't do any 5-on-5. So they're all in much better shape than they were, especially Jay. We didn't know where he would end up, and Cam is feeling a lot better today. So we'll see with him. And Chris has been able to do more and more in increments the last few days. You know, what that means, I'm not going to say anything from an official standpoint, but he is moving closer.
Do you get excited when guys start to make serious progress like that, or are you just kind of waiting until you get the go from the medical staff?
I am. I mean, not that. Whatever that is, I'm not like that. But I do have to keep my focus on, you know, the plan for that day and the next day with regards to who we have. And I find out from the medical team well in advance. So, but it is exciting to see guys on the floor doing more than they did before, or if you have a bit of a scare like you had the other day with Jay, to see him walking around on the bench the other day, I felt like he was okay. And I could tell by his countenance that he wasn't serious. And then to see him, you know, do everything today, that gives you a bit of a jolt, if you will. Not excitement, I guess. Well, I'm never going to comment on anything that we didn't say. So that's not something that came from us. When it's speculation or a report from a source, I just don't comment on that stuff. So nothing to say about that.
How valuable would it be, though, to get this guys back to for a couple of days before the playoffs? As we know, the playoffs is a completely different level.
Yeah, it's huge. I mean, for one, it gives you a chance to see your team in totality. We haven't had this group together one game, if you think about Torrey being in the rotation. So if we can get everybody back and get a rotation rhythm, get a game rhythm, a defensive rhythm, there's all kinds of, you know, things that can happen by getting the group together. We haven't had that opportunity. And at the same time, I'm proud of what we've learned about the guys that have played. We've had guys in spots and situations that they probably had no idea they'd be in. And we've been able to learn a lot about our team.
Especially if they get those spots in the playoffs, they're already battle tested.
You hope that's the case. But you like to have a full complement of players if you can. And we're hopeful that we can get that soon.
When it comes to a guy like Chris, how much of a challenge is it to kind of keep him back? He's such a competitor. You know he wants to play.
Yeah.
Got to save him from himself.
I think sometimes that statement gets a bit overblown just because, you know, Chris is a big picture guy. He understands, you know, when he's going to need the juice that he needs to play at the highest level he possibly can. So he's not going to, you know, as much as everybody thinks I'm holding guys back or you know, I'm the brain trust, giving me way too much credit. But I also think we all understand the importance of every game, but then there's a big picture viewpoint, but it's not something I think about a ton. You know, I'm always locked into the day, but when you finish a game and you start to think about the playoffs, it does come into my thinking, but we're not where we want to be yet. You know, we want to secure the number one spot. We want to be healthy. And then there's probably a few more things that I'm missing right now, but those two things are, you know, targets for us right now.
How much value do you put in this getting rest? Now you probably want to shows if you get hurt, but just not having to put miles on the tires.
I mean, there's, you know, opportunities in every challenge, you know what I'm saying? And that was a huge challenge for us to not have him for as long as we haven't had him. But if you look around the league, it's happening to everyone. I'm grateful for the guys that have been able to step up and play in key situations, especially in end-of-game situations, 2-for-1s, you know, things like that. campaign, case in point, you know, I think the situations that he was in with us in the bubble and then last year helped him to play well in the playoffs when Chris couldn't play. And you never know how that's going to play out as we go forward. So to your point, you know, you don't want anybody to get hurt, but if it does happen, you want to see guys step up or see them in certain situations so you can learn.
But you notice the rank out there as well, how it's
He's been doing a little bit more. He hasn't been able to do the drill work with us. We get up and down, even if we don't go 5-on-5, we still get up and down and script a lot of our stuff. And he hasn't been able to do that, but he's done a little bit more the past couple of weeks than he did a month ago for sure.
Coach, you happy with Goodman Elford's play, even though he scored 1 point against the Kings and got a lot of great defensive stops in that game. But as now his offense going, really hasn't made a bucket since the Lakers game 2 weekends ago. Can you talk about possibly maybe starting in Minnesota?
Well, we're not sure about that. I don't want to cross that bridge until we have to. Cam, it's not official yet whether he's in or out, so we'll have to wait and see. But if he can't play, I don't mind starting Elford or Aaron. I mean, we've been able to do both based on what we think is going to help us in the game. The Chicago game, we just felt like Elford's size would help us. And then we had a bit of, a rhythm with him in that starting unit from a defensive standpoint. And you saw him make some plays in the sack game. But we'll see. We'll see how Cam responds to today. He looked pretty good today. We'll see if he has his energy back. Because when you have those kinds of bugs, they can zap your energy. So we'll see where he is tomorrow.
Yeah, D'Angelo Russell, he's averaged about 8 assists in the past 10 games. So are you planning possibly to balance that out with Holiday or to give him more minutes, to help stop the penetration from D'Lo?
Well, I certainly wouldn't give that information out right now or in 5 seconds. So D'Angelo's a good player. They're a fast-paced team. They get up a number of threes every game. They crash the glass. And D'Angelo's an all-star. So he has more to his game than just passing. The thing that I've seen with him is his hesitation pump fake, and you put your hand down and he'll just shoot it from 5-6 feet behind the line. So you just have a number of things you have to account for when you're playing against him.
How do you say most of the time great for you are to be in the situation? Did you ever step back and realize that it's drastically different when you arrived until now? Is there a moment you realize kind of the work is they wanted to see how much things have really changed with the team in the city since
I've listened to the players talk about how grateful they are, and I think the gratification for me was seeing how badly they wanted our staff to be a part of the All-Star game. That's when it hits you that we have a pretty cool group. As far as what we've been able to do, I'm not going to sit here and act like I don't notice it or try to do the fake humble thing and say, oh no, I don't. I see it and I'm grateful for it. And for me to sit here and act like I don't notice it would be disrespectful to all the people in this building that work their tails off, and it would be disrespectful to my Lord and Savior for the blessings he's given me every single day. And I want to acknowledge that. And yet there's so much work ahead of us that I can't even blow the candle out on that cake, you know what I'm saying? Because you just got to keep going, I just don't have time right now, but I do. Before I lay down and go to bed at night, I tell the Lord, thank you for what he's done here. And I hope there's more to come.
Finish with one on Zoom.
Pause like that, I'm out.
I know, right?
Those are the words I hate more than anything. Finish with one more on Zoom. I can't stand, I hate those words. Especially if it's Dwayne or Kellen.
Well, it's not Kellen. So, Coach,
it's worse.
I totally agree with you. You said Chris has done more and more, in increments. What are things, 2 or 3 things that he's been able to do more and more in the last 2 or 3 days?
Well, he's been able to tie his own shoes. He was able to walk out on the floor and say hello. He was able to dribble the ball.
Anything else besides that?
I can keep going.
Please do.
Nah, he was able to get up and down today and do 5-on-5 with us, or 5-on-0. We didn't do 5-on-5, but he's been able to do some stuff to get his cardio back at a certain level. And not as much as you would think. It's not a overwhelming report on Chris right now, but each day over the past week and a half, I've seen him getting up more shots, getting concept shots, and doing more stuff in a script environment, but no 5-on-5 with the team.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Thank you, buddy.
Thank you.